What's up guys, David here, and today we have a speed test between the best phone from Google and the Pixel 3 XL going up against the best phone from Apple in the iPhone XS Max. Taking a look at the spec sheet, the iPhone is powered by the A12 Bionic chip coupled with 4 GB of RAM, while the Pixel is rocking Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, and just like the iPhone, it also is packing 4 GB of RAM. Which, I have to say is kind of surprising that Google went with 4 GB instead of something like 6, which most other Android phones have. But at the same time, the Pixel probably is running a leaner version of Android compared to those other flagships, and it's one of the few Android phones that's actually running on Android 9.0. So the question is, will the Pixel's software optimizations be enough to overcome its seemingly limited hardware, or will the iPhone XS Max log yet another victory against its Android competition? Let's find out. Alright, we'll get things going by starting the stopwatches on each phone and then jump into the first row, where the Pixel 3 is able to get the step over the iPhone, loading both Facebook and Starbucks at a faster rate. As both phones move on to Word, each is loading the same exact 500-page document, with the iPhone being able to not only catch up to the Pixel, but pass it moving on to Excel, with the XS Max just blowing through it and already moving on to the second row. So an impressive start for the iPhone here in the first lap, but the Pixel 3 still hasn't fallen too far behind, with it joining the iPhone here in Snapseed, where just like the iPhone, it'll edit that selfie that it just took by adding a filter and exporting the image out to storage, where it looks like the Pixel did complete that task at a slower rate, allowing the iPhone to improve on its lead as it just rips through Premiere and already starts working on the browser test, with the Pixel exporting that video clip in Premiere at a slower rate as well, putting it a full lap behind the iPhone midway through this first lap. So things aren't looking so good for the Pixel 3, but if it could manage to avoid giving up any more ground to the iPhone here in the gaming row, it does have a shot at making a comeback in the last row, where we'll be loading more lightweight applications like Spotify and ESPN. But unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to happen, with the Pixel 3 XL taking significantly longer to load both Subway Surfers and Flip Diving, and with things not looking any better here in Fit the Fat, allowing the iPhone XS Max to pull even further ahead as it finishes up with Bullet Force and moves on to the last row, where after quickly loading up Spotify, the iPhone is on its way to turning that 1-app lead it has over the Pixel into a full-blown 2-app lead, with it already moving on to Netflix as the Pixel struggles to finish up with Bullet Force, letting the iPhone capture its biggest lead so far in this speed test, finishing the first lap with a time of 1 minute and 46 seconds. So as the iPhone starts working on the second lap, the Pixel is working on finishing the first, with it taking slightly longer to load ESPN, but being able to load both Netflix and Amazon at a slightly faster rate, finishing the first lap 16 seconds later with a time of 2 minutes and 2 seconds, while the iPhone has been doing an excellent job at keeping all the apps open and ready to go. Unfortunately, the same can't be said of the Pixel, with it failing to keep Bullet Force open, which is the first time in a really long time that we've seen a phone fail to keep an app open so early. But we'll see if the trend continues as the Pixel moves on to Fit the Fat, where once again it fails to keep the app open, allowing the iPhone to cruise to the finish line with a total time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and thus fast forwarding the Pixel to the end, where it fails to keep every single app open, finishing the test over a minute later with a total time of 3 minutes and 35 seconds, making the winner by a huge margin the iPhone XS Max. In case you're wondering, we ran this test multiple times on each phone, and the results here were consistent. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.